Good morning and welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I want you to watch the whole video. I've been over this before, but I'm going to put it together in a short, tight, to the point message so everybody understands what's happening with most of these proof of stake altcoins when they are dropping, because there are false narratives that are pushed out that there are just sell-offs every time that they all start dipping simultaneously. So I'm going to go over this as quickly as I possibly can. Please watch this entire video. So this is the example, Xcoin. Xcoin is the coin or the token that is built on top of or that represents the X loan platform. So just think of an Aave, a compound, something like that. That's the cryptocurrency. The platform itself is a loan platform, and the token is Xcoin, X token, whatever you want to call it. Now, it is at 50 cents right now, speaking hypothetically, and there are a billion tokens created and they're all in circulation. Okay, so conventional wisdom would have you believe that if more people are buying Xcoin than selling, that the price should be going up. And for most of these proof of stake altcoins, I'm not saying for all of them, but for most of them, from what I have read in the white papers, is that their price of their token is not determined by buying and selling on exchanges. It is determined through the amount of tokens that are being staked in the network in the overall liquidity pool. I'll explain this really quick, so just stay with me. I'm going to make this make sense. So, and this is a common misconception. That's why I'm going over it again. And I believe that it leads people to sell when coins are dipping or when they're not moving up and other ones are. So let me go over this real quick. A billion total tokens, they're all in circulation. 50% of them are in staking. Now, what's the relevance of this 50%? Well, that gives the loan platform the liquidity pool that they need to facilitate loans. So let's say that Joe goes on X platform and he wants to take out a loan. He only has a small percentage of collateral that he can put up. Different loan platforms have different processes when it comes to if you have to put up collateral, if they'll just give you a flash loan, how much collateral you have to put up if you do. But this is the great part about cryptocurrency and blockchain tech and the new economy that they are building, is that loans are actually backed by real liquidity that are being staked in the network, as opposed to banks that can just create money out of thin air. So out of that 50% of them that are in staking, that creates this $250 million liquidity pool. So this gives the platform that additional liquidity to facilitate those loans. Because if there were no tokens in and no tokens in staking, nobody was staking, there would be no liquidity for the platform to facilitate any loans. So again, not like banks where they can just press a button and create money out of thin air and give it to you, or through fractional reserve lending, just create tons of money out of nowhere. Everything is going to be set up or backed by real currency, real tokens, real liquidity that are being staked in the network. Okay, so Joe wants to get a loan. He only has a small percentage of collateral that he can put up, and they work out everything with his interest rates. The rest of that loan is facilitated through the funds in the liquidity pool. That's why they give you a return when you stake your tokens, right? Because they're earning interest when they send this loan out. So they're making money off of it. That's why they're giving you a part of that return. So Joe puts up, whatever percentage of collateral, he gets the loan back and he pays it off with whatever, agreements that they worked out as far as the conditions of the loan. Okay, so that's how this whole thing operates for the most part with most of these blockchains, the ones that are proof of stake and that have a liquidity pool and that their services are largely dependent on that liquidity pool to stay operational. Because again, if there's no liquidity, you're not going to be able to operate. So on to the next slide here. This is really what you need to understand as far as most of these and how they are priced out. So this highlighted amount, the 50% that's in staking, that goes up here, that creates this liquidity pool. The liquidity pool gives the platform value, because without it, it has no value. It's just a cool loan platform that can do nothing because it has no liquidity backing it. So however much this percentage is will determine how much is going in here. Now, however much this is going to determine the price of the token. So as this percentage goes up, the liquidity pool goes up, the token goes up. Reversely, as this percentage goes down, now you don't have to sell. That's the most important part here. You don't have to sell any of your tokens. Let's just say some large investors had a bunch of their funds in staking, took out, let's say they dropped all this down to 40% of the total amount that they had, 20% of the total amount, and they took 10% out. So now it goes down to 40%. So that drops the liquidity pool, dropping the price of the token. And right now, because cryptocurrency is not mainstreamed and everybody is using these services, they don't have to keep a incredibly high liquidity pool in these platforms because they don't need them yet, because not enough people are using their services at this point in time. So these prices can be easily manipulated through the liquidity pools. It does not, all they have to do is pull them out of staking. If you've ever staked your tokens, you know that you can just pull them out of staking depending on which platform you use or which protocol you're using and the terms and conditions they have for staking. And you don't have to sell, you can just remove them from staking. And that would cause the percentage of total token staked to go down, causing the liquidity pool to go down, causing the price of the token to go down. Okay, so now let's look at the other side of this. Let's say that 100% of the tokens are in staking. Does that mean that they have a cap on their liquidity pool? At that point, I would assume, based on everything that I've read, let's say 100% of them are in staking. At that point, all the tokens are out. 100% of the tokens are in circulation. At that point, I believe it will come down to just solely price and solely supply and demand and true price discovery. But as long as 100% of them are not in staking, this can be added to, subtracted from, and that would cause this to go down, causing the price of the token to go down. I hope I made that make sense. I'm not saying this applies uniformly to every single proof of stake altcoin. And that's why I always say they can only do so much with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's pricing structure is not aligned with this setup. Okay. It has a different, it's a lot, it's relies more on legitimate price discovery and supply and demand. Again, you can manipulate through the leverage trading market. That being said, it's not set up like this so that they actually have to sell Bitcoin. They have to sell spot Bitcoin, and that's what drives it down. It normally drives it down to the point to where stop losses kick in and liquidations kick in, and that's what causes those dumps. But with these coins and with these tokens, they can just manipulate them through the liquidity pools. So please understand that when you're watching things that you feel like should be going up because of how much it's being, talked about, promoted, invested in by big investors, maybe adopted by corporations. Polygon, I will say it again, has gone down 10%. It may be a little bit more now that it's dipping today in the last 30 days or so. And it's been adopted by Coinbase and Ernst & Young, one of the largest consulting firms in the world, but yet the price is going down. How could that possibly happen? This is the only rational explanation to any of that. And if you read the white papers, many of them will come out and say, this is how the token is priced out. This is how we develop the value of the token. Some of them do not say that, but they do have a liquidity pool. And if you notice the price of the token go down, go check the liquidity pool. More than likely, that's going to be going down as well, because that's what caused the price of the token to go down. And nobody has to sell. You can just remove them from staking, or you can add additional tokens to staking. Okay. So this is the upside here is that things are platforms, and it's all backed by real liquidity, not funny money that exists in our current economy. That being said, until this mainstreams, the minimal amount needed in the liquidity pool could be very low because not a lot of people are using the application. Over time, as this mainstreams and more users come on and more people are using these applications and they need to have a high liquidity pool, at that point, these won't be so easily manipulated. So just please understand that. If you have any thoughts, feedback, whatever in the comment section, please feel free. I'm not saying this applies uniformly. I'm saying this applies to most of them from everything that I've read. And if you do your research, you will find out the exact same thing. Okay. So AMP being one of these, I did a video on AMP explaining this whole thing, showing their white paper verbatim what it says in their white paper. So just please understand that. And this does not, when you see tokens dipping, it does not mean people are selling. It could mean just the opposite. Okay, these can be very easily manipulated through the liquidity pools and through pulling and adding to staking. They can jack these sky high right now if they wanted to. Okay, very important to understand. They can also drop them pretty dramatically, but that's the great part about the market following Bitcoin, is that they keep them at a relative, price to what Bitcoin is. And since they can't manipulate Bitcoin like this, that's good for the overall market because they're not going to dip alts that much if Bitcoin's sitting around 50K. They might dip them like we're seeing right now, but they're not going to just completely drain the whole liquidity pool. That's called a rug pull, right? So, and another important part here, most platforms, most protocols have a set number of their own tokens set aside to put in the liquidity pools so that it maintains, I guess, a minimum balance, and it can never technically go to zero because they have a set number of tokens that they keep in the staking pool themselves, giving that network liquidity regardless of what investors and other stakers do. Okay, and there's also validators on the network that are also large stakeholders and have a decent percentage in the liquidity pool also. So please just keep this in mind. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own research. And if you want to know, how the price of your token is priced out, I would recommend going and reading the white papers to see whether or not you feel like this aligns with what you are seeing with the price action. Depending on what's happening with the overall adoption and the amount of investors coming into that particular investment. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.